Hey, what is happening, folks? It is Jimmy G in the place to be, bringing you to another amazing episode of The Good, the Bad, the Awesome, where we unbox, give my first reaction to all things pop culture. So when you see it, I'm seeing it. When I see it, you see it. Do you see what I see? Absolutely. So if you like that kind of stuff, hit that like and subscribe. Consider giving a like, notification, get notified when we have new videos. Also, maybe consider becoming a member and supporting the channel. It only helps. The channel doesn't hurt it, and all monies go back into the channel. So with that, we're gonna look at today. I'm still inspired by going through anime and all sorts of stuff, and I've got another figure from the Demon Slayer land from Bandai Ultimate Legends HD. They just released 3 new figures, and we just did a review on Tengen, and I'll put a description or a review. I'll put something up above the picture, and then I'll put the description down below. But today we're going to look at the Flame Hashira, and that is Rengoku. And we're going to see if this Rengoku, how it stacks up against the McFarlane one, and which one I like better, and which one I think is worth the money, and should you pay $16.99 for this figure. So let's go to it. So here it is out of the package onto my table. This is the Demon Slayer High Definition Ultimate Legends Rengoku by Bandai. And so far, I mean, the package, I love the packaging on these figures. I mean, you can see the artwork is gorgeous right there on the front of it. The overall, just look. I mean, this cost, I got it from Amazon for like $16.99, but you can find it at Target, Walmart, all your other local kind of like stores where you buy your toys and things like that. Toys, collectibles is what I mean on this. But yeah, they do have, again, this is the line that has Tengen, Nezuko, and then of course Rengoku here. And then before I did the review on Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and those. But here's the package, just kind of give you the rotisserie view of the package. There's that beautiful artwork. There's the great words on the side. There's a picture of those and all that good stuff. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to see what is inside this box, and so let's get this thing. I don't know. First of all, can you see that right there? That is like the artwork on the inside. I'll show you here in just a little bit, maybe a little bit later, that artwork. But let's do this here. Let's do ourselves a favor. Let's get this baby out of the box and onto my table right now. Por favor, let's do it. Rengoku, Flame Hashira, get him out now. And here is Rengoku, the Flame Hashira. Flame Hashira, flame-breathing, 9th form, esoteric art, Rengoku. So what you get in the package, you get these 2 little fisties right here that you can use to put into the sword. You also get this hilt right here, pretty nice looking little hilt that you can put right there in his sheath. And then you get the Nichiren sword. This is my biggest complaint here. Look how bent that thing is. I mean, you're gonna have to kind of work it and get it back into shape. And the detail on it, not quite as good as I've seen on some other swords, but there it is right there. Just, gosh, here's the thing about this figure so far. Of my first impressions is it's not quite as polished as, I mean, I did Tengen, and Tengen's figure was great. This one's not quite as good as Tengen. Now, what am I expecting for a $16 figure? You know, that's the thing. I shouldn't be expecting much, but I should be expecting just a little bit more. Like, this sword could have been made of a harder plastic, you know? So that way we could just have something we could play with better. Now let's bring in Rengoku, and let's take a look at this face. Now this face here, what it kind of reminds me of is, if you all seen the baking show Nailed It, so you have the ideal face, which, sorry about that, my camera, I bumped it. You have the ideal face, which is on this package here. Let me pull that in. So there is Rengoku's face, right? Or right here. And then nailed it. It just doesn't quite matchup. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know Rengoku has a more expressive face, especially with those big eyebrows, the orange eyes and things like that, but this just doesn't look right. I don't know if it's the proportions, I don't know if it's the paint, I don't know if it's the shininess of this plastic, but just does not quite look like it should. It's a little bit off. This is Rengoku from Wish, so to speak. This is what you get when you order Rengoku from Wish. You get your Hashira from Wish, this is what you're going to be getting. But the hair looks pretty decent. I do dig the hair on that. The outfit looks okay. The paint is not as polished as it is on the Tengen figure. You can kind of see that there's some underspray and some overspray. There's also some nicks and things like that in the plastic here. Again, just looking here, just some overspray and underspray here, which, you know, $16 figure. I just got to remind myself, $16 figure. This is not a Figma. This is not an SH Figure Arts. This is a Bandai Ultimate Legends that you can get at Target. But that, again, it's just a little bit, it's not quite where I want it to be. Of the 5 that I've reviewed so far, this would have to be the weakest of the 5, I would say, which is sad because Rengoku is my favorite Hashira, and this is the weakest of them. And there he is from a height standpoint. We'll get some figures in to show you kind of what he looks like. Now, from an articulation standpoint, his head does move, but you have the cape that's in the way. Now, the cape is removable. You can take that cape off, so let's go ahead and do that really quickly. We'll take it off here. That way I can show you the kind of the gimmick with the cape. It does spread, so you can spread that to get it in some other dynamic poses and things like that. But here, his head does move, has an upper ab crunch, lower ab crunch, does twist. Arm has the movement like all the rest of them. It's a little bit finicky. Just know those arms do pop off real easy. You do have the twist there, you do have the 90-degree bend, you do have the bend here and the twist here as well, so you can go 360 with the arm. Legs, you do have the waist twist. The legs don't quite 360, not 360, don't quite Jean-Claude Van Damme it. He's not as flexible as he should be, but you do have the twist here, you have the 90-degree bend, you do have the ankle, the rocker there, but no tilt on the toe tilt, which is, I wish it did, because you can put him in some really cool poses. Of course, the Hashira uniform you do have right there where it says destroy on that. So let's see if I can get his cape back on. This is kind of like putting things in without actually being able to see where it goes. Hopefully I got it on there right. There we go. But yeah, just not quite there for me. So let's do this. Let me go ahead and bring in some other figures. We can compare him to some other of the Bandai Ultimate Legends, my McFarlane Rengoku that I have. And I'll also bring in my little Figure Arts mini Rengoku that we can kind of show off to as well. But yeah, let's do that. So here is the other Ultimate Legends that I just reviewed, which was Lord Tengen, which if you haven't seen that one, please go ahead and visit that review. But this is how they look together. And again, this figure is more polished than this figure. What gives? You know, I don't know if maybe there's just more detail in this one that they had to kind of accomplish. And of course, you kind of run out of budget a little bit. But I think this figure is a much better figure. The swords are much better than his sword and things like that. So there is Lord Tengen versus Rengoku. Let's bring in the one that we do want to compare it with. First and foremost is my other one that I have is my McFarlane figure here. Let me go ahead and see if I can pop these together. Let me pop my camera up a little bit too, so that way we can kind of see that. So McFarlane's 7-inch figure. Although the face is not quite right on this one too, it is I think a much better looking figure. I think the proportions, the eyes are a bit better on the McFarlane one than on this one. I don't know, it may be because it's just had a little bit more paint detail to it. The hair, I do have to give it to this one. I like the oranger hair versus the dirtier looking hair here, this brighter flame red, but overall, uniform wise, the McFarlane one is going to win hands down just from a looks department, although it's still not quite right here. Sword, much better sword, even though this is a soft sword too again, but if we turn them around, you can kind of see from the back side. One thing I like that the Bandai Ultimate Legends has is the cape that does move, but again, just look at the paint job here is much better than the paint job here on this. And then of course, if you see from the feet, again, the paint job. So much better paint job on the McFarlane figure versus this one. Now from a accessory standpoint, this is going to have a few more hands, but I do like that this comes with his hilt here. Now let's bring in the 5-inch McFarlane. So that's another one that we can compare him to. And once again, I do like the face. So if we take a look at the two faces here, I do like the face on the McFarlane one better. It's just like, that one's just off. It's just like a cheap imitation copy of Rengoku. This one does almost a better representation. But again, if I could have this hair on this body, I think we'd have a really, 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 really good representation. And the sword, I love the fact they put some detail into the sword. Sword, again, soft plastic. I don't know why y'all do that. Just give me a harder plastic sword on that, and I think it would be much, 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 much better. But I do like the fact that this does come with a cape. This does not. Now, this was a $10 figure versus a $16 figure here. But this one has a bit more detail, not as posable, but a bit more, I think it looks better than this one here. And then finally, my SH figure, my Figure Arts Mini. He's just cute. Just a cutie pie right there. Just looks great. Love the flaming sword. That would be cool to have, is just a flaming sword, right? If you can't make a good straight sword, just make it a flaming sword. And then the hair, I just love the colors on this one right here. So I think they nailed the colors here. Believe it or not, the face on this one is so much better than this one here. So, well, let's get back together for some of my final thoughts on the Flame Hashira Rengoku. So what are my final thoughts on Bandai Ultimate Legends HD Kyojuro Rengoku? Let's bring him back in. One last shot. This is probably the pose I will keep him in here. Not as fun as my other figures, I can tell you that right now. From a look standpoint, again, it's not the best looking of the Rengokus. That right now, of the ones that I have, would have to go to the 7-inch McFarlane right here. This one, I think, is the better looking of the two. Now, this one by no means has it all going on, but it's a lot better looking than this one. Now, the Figma, I hear, is really, 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 really good looking, and I hope to get that sometime. I'm just looking for it when it gets on sale where I can kind of afford it. But the sword, just the soft plastic that just is bent. From the paint job on here to the overall posability, I mean, there's not much you can really do. I wish it had some extra hands, like an open hand that you can use, so you can kind of have other things. It's either he has a hand that looks like this, which does not look very appealing, or you have closed fists. But just on a scale of good, bad, awesome, I mean, for $16.99, that's what I have to remember. This figure was $16.99. It's not $24.99. It's not $40. It's not $50. It was $16.99. But for $16.99, I think it could be a bit more, have a little bit more polish. I mean, that Tengen figure looked really, really, really good for $16.99. This one, not quite as good. So on a scale of good, bad, awesome, I would say he is he's pretty good. I mean, he's not good, he's not great, he's not awesome, he's pretty good. He's the weakest of the 5 that I have. This is probably one of the lower score ones that I'm going to be giving out here from a good, I don't have a score, I just have good, bad, awesome, right? But I mean, the hair color is great. from a positive, I mean, it does have the pose. It has like a bunch of joints where you can pose, but the feet kind of like, I wish it had the tilt here, so that way you can get them in some other different poses and things too, and as well as some extra hands. And that sword, come on. I know a blue pill will probably fix that, but come on, sword. And then the face, like I said, this is Wish Rengoku, Wish version Rengoku. Now I know he's an odd looking duck already, but they could have done a better job with my favorite Hashira. Maybe I'm just a little biased that way. Oh well, that's me. But tune in next time when we do talk about something else good, better, awesome, because we still have Nezuko to hit. We got to see if Nezuko will redeem Rengoku here. So tune in for that video. But in the meantime, you all remember to stay young, have fun, and be awesome. Set your heart ablaze. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye now.